Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is social innovator and designer Dee Nichols. Thanks again for being here.
Indeed.
So, we're talking about you being a featured speaker at this upcoming TEDx talk and event, and you introduced the piece that you're going to talk about really as one of your most notable works, this mirrored coffin that you created. For those who haven't seen it, can you describe it for me?
Yes, so it is a 5.5 foot tall, 3 foot wide coffin that is covered completely in mirrors, and on the sides the mirrors are all clear so that as people are carrying and marching with it, they can see themselves clearly. And it evokes this notion of empathy of, yeah, that could be me inside, and I may have some responsibility for the lives that have been taken. On the face, the front surface of the casket is intentionally cracked. And when we've performed and marched with that piece, it has been tilted forward to face police officers. And it provides a distorted image of who are we? Like really questioning who are we becoming? Who are they becoming? And how are they complicit in the perpetuation of injustice, of inequity, of people dying in the streets of our city and other cities across the nation? And so that work is both a sculpture as well as a performance and an experience. And when it was actualized in October of 2014, we had no idea the life that it would take. And it was marched first on a Friday night, and activists, primarily Black men activists, took it downtown, and they marched it into the police headquarters. And then there were exhibitionists and curators who wanted to feature it in a traveling exhibition across the state. And it went on that tour, and it just kept growing and taking a life of its own. And educators and teachers wanted to use it as the catalyst to talk about these issues with their students, because art is that pathway to touchy subjects. And we had no idea what would come of it, but that is the piece, and it lives on.
Yeah, no, and it's such a great, great reflection of essentially who you are as it relates to your work, as well as, again, this combination of you as an artist as well as being an activist.
Indeed. I feel like I'm definitely a protester. Like, I wear that hat, I show up. And at the same time, I am not someone who always has to tell you how to feel. But if I can engage you in a way that gets you questioning, gets you thinking critically yourself about how you want to navigate the world, I think that is something that allows us both equilibrium of power, of voice, of decision making. And the mirror casket is one of those pieces. Food Spark is one of those pieces when we bring people together over these dinner parties. When I helped doctors at SLU create the St. Louis Metro Market, it was that same type of notion of what do we really want to envision collectively. And
before we wrap things up, I want to play this video of you actually giving a similar kind of talk, sort of where you were going with your response right now. So let's take a look at that. Dee Nichols, here she is.
Yeah.
So when a lot of the unrest happened, one of the main questions that everyone was asking themselves is, like, what do I do? How do I find my place in this? And as artists, how do we respond? And there were some very direct ways that happened. Some of us started making art in our own individual ways, and some of us wanted to talk and be and convene and be in fellowship with each other. And that sparked what became art builds, where we would meet in co-op spaces, in people's basements, in churches across St. Louis and Ferguson, just to make art to support protests, to support marches, to support direct actions that were happening. But in addition to that, we realized that there was power in other types of convenings as well. And so there were things like Food Sparks, where we would have monthly potlucks. In Ferguson October weekend in October 2014, there were 4 all across the region, and amassing like hundreds of people who had came to the region for that weekend to also join in those dinner conversations, just to like talk about race, class, and privilege and injustice.
And there you are speaking, and you're going to be speaking coming up. What's just overall, before we wrap things up, what will people kind of walk away with if they come to the TEDx talk to hear you speak?
I think people will walk away with their own calls to action to create something different in the worlds around them, new experiences with the people around them, and new visions for how they want to contribute to the progress of our society.
That's great, and it's so needed right now. I mean, we need that, and we need instruction to do that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we've got the information there for you on the screen. Go check her out, Dean Nichols, at TEDxGatewayArch's Ripple Effect. It's taking place Friday, October 27th at 5 p.m. at the Touhill Performing Arts Center on the campus of University of Missouri St. Louis. For more information, go to TEDxGatewayArch.org. There's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.